Dinesh D'Souza, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Your second film in a key political year. Your first one dates to the 2012 election. The movie, give me the title again.
That was called 2016 Obama's America.
That's right. This one is called?
This one is Hillary's America, the secret history of the Democratic Party.
And what is that secret history?
Well, the secret history is that the Democratic Party has been the exact opposite of what they say. The Democrats say we're the party of the ordinary guy, the little guy. We've always been fighting for women. We've been fighting for minorities. We're the ones who fought for civil rights. We ended slavery. We got you women's suffrage. And I show that none of this is really true. The Democrats have actually been the enemy of the little guy. The Democrats have been the party of slavery, segregation, Jim Crow, the Ku Klux Klan, lynching. The Democrats were involved in forced sterilization, sympathy for fascism. They're the ones who interned Japanese Americans after World War II. They passed the most restrictive of all the immigration laws. So this is a party that purports to be one thing, but it's actually something quite different.
Tell me what I'm going to learn about Hillary Clinton in the movie.
I think you remember from the Obama movie 4 years ago, I portrayed Obama as an anti-colonial ideologue, someone shaped in the image of his dad, and I made predictions about Obama that have largely come true. Hillary, I think, is a very different character. Hillary, in a sense, is not an ideologue. She's a gangster. I mean, the Clintons operate as a kind of a tag team, and it's all about them, and it's all about the money, and it's all about the power. And they've been running rackets since the Arkansas days, and when the Clintons were in the White House selling presidential pardons, taking stuff off the walls, renting out the Lincoln bedroom, the Clintons are ultimately about a way of figuring out how to broker government policy to their own benefit. That's how they've been able to go from dead broke to $300 million in a few years without inventing the iPhone.
It was Dick Morris last week said that the Clintons went from a romance to a partnership to a RICO.
Well, I think the interesting thing about that Clinton marriage is that people think that Bill is the victimizer and Hillary is the victim because she's the long-suffering wife. But no. I think what's interesting about this is Hillary needs Bill, has always needed Bill more than Bill needs Hillary, because Bill has the natural political grease. He's got the natural talent. He would have gotten ahead even without her, but she would never have gotten ahead without him, and she knew that. So she had to figure out a way to cement him to her, to make sure he didn't run off with someone else. And she did that by becoming his fixer, his enabler, his cover-up artist. And so they've got a very twisted marriage. My slogan about it, and I should tell this to Dick Morris, the family that steals together stays together.
You were prosecuted by the Obama administration.
Yes, for a technical violation of the campaign finance laws. I gave $20,000 above the limit. I had no corruption. I wasn't getting anything out of it. I did it to help a college friend. Normally, this is not a criminal matter at all. So I have the distinction, the dubious distinction maybe, of being the only guy in America that's been locked up for 8 months for doing what I did.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Clinton seems to have skated again.
These people remain one step ahead of the posse. And, you know, when I was in the confinement center, one of the hoodlums told me, he goes, listen, you know, we all did it. We're all guilty, but we're the small fry. The big fry are at large, and the big fry never get caught. The system can never get them because they control the system.
And you feel that's really what's going on here?
Well, when I saw, you know, Bill Clinton meeting with Loretta Lynch, when I saw Obama signaling both to Comey and to Lynch, hey, Hillary's my gal, hands off of Hillary, yeah, I could see how power has been corrupted. And then again, here at the Democratic National Convention, the way the DNC has been putting its finger on the scales for Hillary, working against Bernie. I mean, this is for a party that calls itself Democratic, but they've been rigging the process clearly.
Well, let's put a little color on that. This morning, we come in here to the Democratic Convention. They want it to be a top-notch affair, and yet email continues to be a thing attached to Hillary Clinton and everything about her. The email thing that's going on now. Connect those dots.
Well, you have two separate email scandals. You have the email scandal of Hillary deleting her emails, maintaining the private email system. And one of the things we do in the movie is we show the motive of that, because it isn't just carelessness. The Clintons don't do anything without a motive. They set up that system. It took a great deal of trouble for a reason. Now, the other email scandal is the leaked emails. The leaked emails that show that this was a rigged process from the beginning. I mean, imagine you have a show candidacy, Bernie Sanders. It was never intended that he would actually even be a viable candidate. somehow because of distaste for Hillary, he was. But nevertheless, they did what they could at the top level to fix the rules so Hillary got it. On the Republican side, it was a cage fight, but a fair fight. And I think the Republican Party can unify better because they feel like we at least had a chance, we had our voice heard. I can see why the Bernie guys would feel cheated.
It's hard to know, but what do you think comes out of this? Debbie Wasserman Schultz, essentially being pushed out right at the start of the convention. Where does this go, do you think?
Well, I think that, once again, I think Debbie Wasserman Schultz is the fall guy or the fall gal because obviously Hillary's been colluding with her. She's a former Hillary campaign manager installed at the Democratic National Committee to fix the system, and yet I noticed that none of the punishment is going to Hillary. Debbie takes the fall, and Hillary marches forward.
Do you think it hurts her in the general?
Well, I don't think it hurts as much as the other stuff. I think that the Benghazi, the deleted emails, the reflections on the Clinton character, the fact that she was being investigated, and even the FBI director, while failing to indict, lays out a kind of verbal indictment against her. In my own small case of a year ago, if I'd been deleting evidence, expunging emails while the FBI was investigating me, I'd be doing this interview with you from maximum security prison. Everyone knows that there seem to be two standards, one for the Clintons, one for everyone else.
Dinesh D'Souza, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.